I'd like to show you a little bit more about the Wings Across Alabama website, specifically talking about Divi theme that I use to build this website. Now we know WordPress is the program that basically runs everything and we just put everything into WordPress, but there are different themes you can buy and you have to stick within that theme, and then there are theme builders such as Elementor, Beaver Builder, and the one I like the best is Divi Themes, and I use that to build this. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because if you want to go in and update this website, you need to have a working knowledge of Divi Theme. It's going to be difficult, and it's only difficult in the sense that if you don't use it every day, you're not going to know what button to press, where that button is hidden and things like that. But let's go through it a little bit, and I kind of give you an idea of what we're doing. So I'm going to open up the dashboard, get rid of this, and we'll run down this side real quick. Updates. You're going to see a little red button here. You might see it at the top that says that a plugin needs to be updated or WordPress needs to be updated. Go ahead and do that if you see that. Usually updates are for security reasons. There's some feature reasons, but it's mainly for security, and we want to make sure everything's updated. I've set most of the plugins to be updated automatically, so you shouldn't have to worry about much, but if something slips through, that's where you can check it out. So we talked about post in another video. Media is the library where all your forms and photos are. Pages are the main pages of the website. Comments we've turned off. Every once in a while you'll find a comment that'll sneak through somehow. I don't know how they do that. We don't use projects here. Email log. I've put that in here for times that emails have gone out. Make sure that forms are being sent. This way you can see something. Sometimes things might not make it to your email folder. In this way you can actually see that something tried to get through. Ninja forms, that's the forms I built. I've got the membership form and the contact me form. This is a whole nother video. And you can also go out to YouTube, and you can find all sorts of videos about doing new membership forms and about updating things there. Appearance. Now this is a little important. So let's talk about themes. This is my Divi theme. This is the one that comes with WordPress. I have something called a child theme, and what I did was I can change code and stuff like that, and it will override the Divi theme. So but it won't change it, so it won't get messed up and automatic updates later on and stuff like that. So that's my child theme is what we're running on. There are different ways to customize it. We'll get to that in a minute. The plugins I have for the website, these are all of them. There's this is that little logo that you see when you log in. Backup Buddy is something that I'm using to back up the forms. There's the email log. It's all right here. We can deactivate it. We can activate them. We can add new ones. Whatever we want to do. There's users. This is where we will add new users. Right now it's just me. We'll add a new person. We'll fill all this stuff in. When we sign them up, it's going to give them a password that they're going to use. They can change it later. I would make sure that they still have a strong password because that's how you get in. The different levels. You may only want to put people in the company as editor or author if you're going to have others. Administrator is the you break it, you bought it. You can do everything in administrator, and you can break it and tear it down. And so sometimes you don't want everybody to have access to that. Future is the plugin that we've used for expiring blog posts. There's other tools here that you probably won't get to. Most of these settings have been done. WP Mail SMTP. This is a real problem about not being able to get emails through. And we've set this up to help us out. And knock on wood, we won't have to do much with that. Yoast SEO. This is where the plugin is, but most everything is within the pages you'll do some work with. Here's some more things. Smart Slider is that slider on the front. Divi Dashboard is what I'm going to use to set up so that you can watch these videos on that front page. Okay, so let's get into this and talk about Divi because that's why we're here. we're going to go to one of these pages. You can see all these different pages here say Divi on the end. That means it was built in Divi. If you don't see that, it means it was built in Gutenberg, and you work with it by clicking this edit button. But I need to work on this using the edit with Divi button. There's a couple of ways we can go to it. Let's go to the About Us page. See, it says it's built with Divi. I need to go ahead and click the Edit with Divi button. So we're going to leave this. And here's the page. All right. You see all these things that are popping up. This is where it's going to get kind of confusing. So let me try to explain this. It's all built around blocks. You have this block right here, which is a section. And I like to use sections because I can move entire sections around as I'm designing stuff. You can have as many sections as you want, but I've got it set up. There's 2 here. There's 3. I've got the staff as a whole section. So I've got the titles as a whole section. I kind of like that. But within that, once you do a section, you need to do a what is this? This is the columns. It's the green is the columns. And you can change the column structure here. I've got this set up in a certain way. You can add more columns. But that's the second thing you have to do when you add this in. Then you get to this, which are these little modules. And it's usually text modules. It's the same thing that we saw on Gutenberg. Text modules, we can go in when we click on one. Let me back out of that one more time. We jumped into it real quick. So I have to highlight this. We got the little gear. This means duplicate. This means save to, I can do like a little catalog of things I can pull back out. We can delete it. This means that's how we move it from one place to another. So let's go to this module. This will pop up. We'll see who we are. I've highlighted this. This is a heading 3. This is a paragraph. When you go to this is where I'm doing a lot of the coding and stuff. I'm putting the font weights in there. You've got, if you know anything about HTML, you've got H3, and it's got these brackets around it, and then it ends at the end of it with this backslash bracket. So I need to make sure that when I'm changing that, I'm just changing that little entry part. Sometimes it can get a little confusing. You know, we've got highlights here. We can edit the links. You know, it's pretty straightforward. We can put background images in. Now, this is where it gets really good for me, is I can start designing it. I can go in and the text, I can change the size of the text. I can change the colors. I've also got it set up as default, so most of the time I don't have to do that. The different heading text that I'm using in there in H1 and H3, the sizing, I'm not using anything on sizing now, but spacing, I've got, you know, margins at the bottom. There's margin of the column and then the padding. They're 2 different things. I can put borders. I can do box shadows. It goes on and on and on and on. And then once you've done all that, well, actually, here's some more. I can do custom CSS within here or some other places. And once you've done it, you got to click that little check box. It'll actually tell you a lot of times, you know, hey, do you want to change this? I'm going to say no and get back out of that. So that's how you see this. Once you've done that, see this little box down here? You can click on that. You can see it as different sizes. That's what it's going to look like on the mobile. That's what it's going to look like on iPad. And that's going to is the desktop. So I'll have to go through here and I'll have to save it, make sure everything's fine, make sure it's updated. And then when we're done, we have to exit the Visual Builder. A lot of information going on, but you need to do each one of those little things. Now, let's say you've logged into this page. All you want to do is change the text. You know, it's no big deal. You could come in here and say, okay, well, I'm on this, and I want to say, I want to change this little bit. I can actually highlight it and start typing right now. Then I would go down here and I would click Save and then Exit Visual Builder. So you don't have to open up that little menu thing. I'll show you once again. You can click on this, the module settings, and get the module. Actually, it'll work better if you type it in here. Or you can go in here and highlight it. All right, simple enough. That is the basics of Divi Builder. You can really go in and do a lot of things with this. You can really get into trouble and move some stuff around that you didn't think about. So think about whether you want to do that or not. If you want to do some edits that are a little deeper than what you feel comfortable with, you can always call me, Sean Wright, and hire me to come do a little hourly work for you. No big deal. All my clients seem to do that. That's it. If you got any questions, just let me know.